Oh man, it's Halloween week 2020, and this is part 2 of our mega movie Monster Mania. Jason and I are tearing through another round of obscure horror films. There are definitely some deep dives in this vault, so crank it up, we're about to blow your minds. Cue the music. So I think I'm ready to go down this long road of horrible and sometimes not so horrible horror movies.
Right. Movies that are either good or bad.
My problem is that I think I've seen so many movies now that I'm like, oh, I don't necessarily remember this from my childhood. Let's watch this. You know, I remember the box art. Maybe I didn't get a chance to see this movie. And I probably had better judgment then.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Of not watching it.
Well, it's like a train wreck kind of thing. It's like, I have to finish this to see how this incomprehensible plot resolves itself.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched 4 movies this week. And they're all kind of all over the place. And what's sad is I was like, oh, I need to watch a monster movie. Yet none of my movies I watched had monsters in them. Well, deranged killers.
Yeah, human monsters.
Yes.
That's fine.
I get trapped in my slasher genre, and which is probably one of my favorites.
You just want to see what type of implement they're going to use the next time.
One I watched today had one of those little garden claws, you know? Those
yeah, sure.
The little small-handled garden claw. Yeah, that was one of the weapons that was used.
I don't think I could get enough leverage on that thing to really make it, stick. Mm-hmm. What if you just kind of scraped it on their chest and just kind of
Well, this one had straight tines and not bent at a 90-degree angle. Which would be so now it's a stabbing weapon. It just has 3 or 4 prongs within the stabbing. So
right. It seems like the people that, whatever company first started making pitchforks, they were like, oh, we've got to change this design. The old ones are just round, like Wolverine claws, The newer ones aren't they got kind of an angle to them. It would just be weird to try to kill somebody. Well, I mean, obviously you could, but
they were thinking about safety.
Yeah, maybe.
And change these designs because, back then they had yard darts or lawn darts or jarts or whatever you want to call them.
They were actually used in war. And then we just kind of packaged them. And plus, I think folks back then were like, we've got 5 kids, if one happens to, it's just, weeding out the,
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest. That's exactly what I was going to say. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. Let's just go ahead and start off this episode with the continuation of Toyotathon. All right, no.
Are we calling it Toyota still? I like that. Then we trick our listeners into thinking they're going to get a rebate or something. And no, we're not associated with them at all. Right. We just like the name.
If you need an extended warranty, we're here for you.
Exactly.
I got the hookup.
Mm-hmm.
So, so this should be, the week of Halloween. Granted, where we are now is at the beginning of October, but
that's weird.
Yeah. We're looking to the future. And hopefully by Halloween, I'll be watching better movies.
Yeah. Although I kind of thought that about the 2 movies that I've been studying, but I think by the end of both of them, I was in. They weren't so bad that I couldn't. I found some things to like about both of them.
Hey, as long as you give me some boobs and blood, there's going to be something.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I watched 4 movies again for this episode, and some had very little nudity and some had a ton of nudity.
Right. Are those the Roger Corman movies, possibly, that have the boobs in them?
Did not go Corman way at all.
Interesting.
Yep. I am actually all over the place. My oldest film that I watched this week was 1971. So I went way back. And that one in particular, lots of boobies.
They were fine with that back then.
Oh, yeah.
The bra thing is really coming through in some of the movies I've been watching. Like, girls just did not wear bras back then at all.
Not at all.
Like, doesn't that hurt?
I'm considering wearing a bra now in my 40s.
Yeah.
My early to mid 40s.
So you don't flap in high wind?
That's why I quit riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, that really is like, oh man. I'm going to have to get my ratchet straps out. Bungee them down.
Anyway, welcome to Halloween week 2020.
Yeah. It's been a nightmare so far and haven't even seen Halloween yet.
That's it. I wanted to start off talking about your go-to movies because I am not going to review any movies that are mainstream. I mean, we can talk about Halloween. We can talk about Halloween 2. We can talk about all the Halloween movies. We can talk about all the Friday the 13th movies, but I'm not going to watch those per se for this. I will have, however, watch them because they are my go-tos around this time just to get me into the mood. What do I care about watching? Click. There I go.
And you're so familiar with some of them that you probably could just have them like playing in the background while you're, doing it. It's just comforting.
Oh, definitely. Last night I fell asleep to Silence of the Lambs.
Oh my God. I can't believe you said that. I was just looking at Silence of the Hams with Dom DeLuise and his son.
Right. Baloney DeLuise.
Yeah, exactly. Pork rump DeLuise. I shouldn't say that. I don't think I've ever seen this. I mean, I have seen the box a million times. It was made in 94.
And we talked about it because we used it to get to a movie.
Oh.
I don't even remember which one now.
I don't remember.
They all run together for me.
Was it one of the DeLuises that we used as a...
Maybe.
Peter.
Hot Stuff. Do you remember Hot Stuff? It was Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds, and we've talked about this before. They're running a pawn shop trying to take in hot goods.
Oh, okay.
To then it was like a sting situation, but it was a fun movie.
Wait, now were they the bad guys or were they the cops or trying to...
Both.
Oh, okay. You can do all of those?
I think. Well, from what I remember, I haven't seen it in 30 years.
Wait, did you say Hot Stuff?
Hot Stuff.
Well, I'm looking at Hot Stuff, and it's directed by Giuseppe Rosati, and I think I'm looking at the wrong one.
The wrong one. Look up Dom DeLuise. He's got to bring
there it is. A couple of... Okay, so there was another Hot Stuff in 76.
What year was that?
This is 79.
Oh, 79. Damn. I thought it had Burt Reynolds in it, but I guess it just has Jerry Reed.
Maybe they're just constantly referring to their other friend.
Yeah, he should have been in this movie.
He should have been. Ossie Davis is.
Peter DeLuise is in this as well.
Oh, man. Really?
Hey, he's a more handsome DeLuise. Look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's all right. He's in 21 Jump Street.
But he's got kind of a Marlon Brando chiseled look. Young Marlon Brando, not
before
old.
He, I assume, became a competitive eater. I don't know. Okay, now hang on. Yeah, man. Wait, Burt Reynolds. I'm confused now that he's not in this.
Yeah, he should definitely be in this. Dom DeLuise directed this. I didn't realize that.
It has like all of his family in it. David DeLuise, Michael DeLuise. I gotta see what Michael DeLuise looks like. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was in Encino Man.
Michael DeLuise plays Boy with Fish.
Why are we talking about hot stuff?
Exactly. I have no idea why I brought that up. Oh, Dom DeLuise, Silence of the Hams.
Okay.
Which I brought up Silence of the Lambs because we were talking about Tracy Walter being in Silence of the Lambs, and you thought that he was actually one of the, the entomologists? The bug guys?
Yes.
But he was actually the coroner or the funeral home director.
Right, because he was there when they put the stuff under their the mentholatum or whatever.
Exactly. Anyway, I saw that particular scene last night, so I was like, "Oh yeah, there he is."
Oh my God, if you went into a funeral home and saw Tracy Walter, you'd be like, "I'm going to the other one in town because he
I am positive that you are doing things to these bodies,
playing with them, having little tea parties."
Dom DeLuise played the voice of Munchie in
of course he
the
did.
movie Munchie.
I vaguely remember that.
Oh, jeez. I don't know why I clicked on that. Lonnie Anderson.
Oh.
Andrew Stevens. And Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, and there's George Buck Flower. We keep bringing him up. Yep. He's going to be my new Alan Fudge.
Oh my God. Did we talk about Alan Fudge last week?
No. Did you come across him today?
Not today, last week. I can't believe I didn't say anything about that.
Maybe you did, and I've just totally...
No. You would have known. We would have had a segment on it. I need a OSHA clock. It's been, it's been 5 days since Alan Fudge was mentioned.
There was a sequel to Munchie called Munchie Strikes Back.
Okay.
That had Leslie Ann Down. Andrew Stevens came back.
Okay.
And Howard Hessman played the voice of Munchie.
Dr. Johnny Fever?
Yeah. Angus Scrimm was also in Munchie Strikes Back.
What? Oh my God. I hear the words that you're saying to me, but I'm going to completely wipe them out of my memory.
Well, that's just going to lead me down a Angus Scrimm hole.
Oh, I hate Scrimm hole.
Which, tell you, I do love Angus Scrimm, but have you watched his early stuff at all?
I don't think so. I think I have only seen him in Phantasm movies, except for maybe I'm trying to think of anything else where he is not playing the tall man. I don't know.
Here's one called Scream Bloody Murder.
Okay.
1972. A disturbed boy kills his father with his farm tractor. And his arm is mangled in the process. He's taken to the mental hospital where he is outfitted with a hook to replace his lost hand.
Is the boy Angus Scrimm?
Maybe. Years later, he's eventually released from the asylum, and he returns home to find his mother is remarried, which sets him off on a murderous rampage.
Is there any other type of rampage? What is this with him being called Rory Guy in his...
I don't know. Dr. Epstein, as that was his alias, was Rory Guy? What a horrible name.
Yeah, Rory. It's hard to say, I think, is the problem.
That is his birth name, is Lawrence Rory Guy.
Larry
Rory.
Angus Scrimm is fucking amazing.
Amazing.
He played a bum in Trapper John MD in 84. Just thought I'd mention that.
He was 6'4".
Wow. He seems taller than that. Simply because he's skinny, too. Phantasm 1, 2, 3.
It should be all of them.
He was a narrator in Wishmaster.
He was a schoolmate of Sam Peckinpah at USC. Peckinpah came to USC from Fresno to do a graduate job while Angus was in his junior year.
They met while Sam Peckinpah was throwing a guy out of a window in a bar.
That's right.
After sliding him across the bar and then through a window. I wonder where that came from, you know? What was the first movie to just like grab a guy and like use him as a washcloth and just like break everyone's beer? People would be so mad. I guess actually that would be pretty awesome if that happened just randomly while you're at the bar. But I mean, like, at the Regal Beagle, somebody is getting that done to them, like, every day. Sometimes, like, 2 or 3 times a day. Their whole stockroom is just beer glasses to replace the broken ones.
That's when you know that happy hour has commenced.
I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I moved to this neighborhood. This place is great. I like it that we went off on a little Angus Scrim trip there. I love him.
I'm actually reading through his trivia.
Now, I have not seen all of the Phantasms.
I've watched them all at least once, but I still just have to watch part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Endlessly.
Yeah. Did Coscarelli do part 2?
I thought he did all of them. Oh,
yep.
You should know. You
I
should
know.
have all this.
I don't know. And part 2, I probably watched that more than part 1, kind of back in the day when I discovered it. And, you know, it's the lesser movie in a lot of ways, but it had some really good, gory, creepy shit in it.
I really enjoyed it. Did you know that Angus Scrim's last movie was called Dances with Werewolves?
Hey, look, they can't all be Phantasm.
I'm just sorry. I'm just looking at John Dies at the End. Everybody, if you have not seen John Dies at the End, turn this off, go watch it, come back to us.
Do yourself a favor. Also read the book, too, which is...
Yeah.
I think it's the guy that he was like editor-in-chief or something at Mad Magazine, maybe, for a little while. I don't remember.
You're talking about David Wong?
Yes.
I listened to the audiobook of John Dies at the End, and I think I started This Book Is Full of Spiders, but I never finished it.
Oh my God. That one is amazing. That's one of the only books that has been like, I have laughed out loud at it and also just been so creeped out. Like, it truly is a creepy, well, I mean, John Dies at the End too is creepy, but,
oh, yeah.
You know, it probably leans more towards comedy than anything. But, you know, This Book Is Full of Spiders is legit scary.
Well, let's just say Phantasm and Phantasm 2 should be in your Halloween watch list.
For sure.
Everybody's going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, Poltergeist.
Which, Poltergeist now is like, I don't even know if we can... I mean, I watch it during the year. You know, I don't wait until Halloween.
No, it's my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen it recently. So I haven't rewatched it this season yet.
So what else would you suggest for...
I haven't been watching like the classics, you know, very much. I've been kind of digging around and finding, you know, new ones to watch. Todd texted me the other day and asked me if I'd seen After Midnight. Have you watched that yet?
No.
It's really good. He really likes the actor in it, which I don't have any. I'm looking at all these IMDb tabs. I couldn't come up with his name, but
oh yeah, I totally remember that cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover. And it's got Henry Zabrowski in it for about 10 minutes.
Oh, you must be talking about the new one then, not the 84.
Oh.
Right, that's 89. Sorry. Yeah, there's a 2019 After Midnight.
Yes, that's the one.
That one has Henry Zabrowski in it.
Yes.
No, I have not seen this.
It's pretty good. It sort of reminded me of House a little bit. Not as goofy, but yeah, House, which also made me nostalgic to watch House. I've got to do that soon. It's a good movie.
So After Midnight 2019, when his girlfriend suddenly disappears, leaving a cryptic note as her only explanation, Hank's comfortable life and his sanity begin to crack Then from the woods surrounding the house, something terrible starts to break in. After midnight.
With Pat Morita and Jamie Farr, one of those guys.
You did watch this, though?
Yeah. Yep, it was pretty good. Nice little short, creepy movie.
But no, the 1989 After Midnight, like I said, I remember that box art, which was Terror Has No Curfew.
It's a good tagline. Oh, it's got Bobby. It's got Bobby's voice in it from King of the Hill. That's so weird. Scroll down to Pamela Adlon. I know I've said this before probably, but she voices Bobby. I cannot...
Oh my God.
I cannot reconcile those two, that voice and her face. It just doesn't seem like that should happen, but...
Wow.
Ooh, Marge Helgenberger's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that box art, and I've never seen this movie. Written and directed by the Wheats.
Yeah, I saw
Jim and Ken. Same guy that wrote Pitch Black, the one with Vin Diesel.
Anyway.
I'm
going to say American Werewolf in London is probably a must-see for Halloween.
Yeah, for sure. The Exorcist probably you should watch. Nobody gets tired of that.
No.
Rosemary's Baby, maybe?
There was a sequel to Rosemary's Baby, was there not?
If there is, I don't think I've ever seen it.
It was like Rosemary's Toddler, something like that.
Hang on a second. I've been finding out lately that there are so many TV shows based off of these popular movies that only lasted for a couple of years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a Rosemary's Baby TV show. Well, there is. What could you possibly...
Yeah. I think that was recent, too, wasn't it? Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, my God.
Also known as Rosemary's Baby Part 2.
If Bruce Willis does a voice for one of the babies, I'm going to be very upset.
This is a real thing. It was a sequel to Roman Polanski's 1968 film, Rosemary's Baby. This premiered ABC Friday Night Movie, October 29th, 1976.
Wow, so much of this stuff was done the year that I was born. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. The only actor to return from the first film was Ruth Gordon.
Okay.
But this has Stephen McHattie.
Oh, cool.
And I love Stephen McHattie.
This might be the oldest movie I've ever heard of with him in it. I mean, I know it would take a very simple IMDb search, but it's weird to me that he kind of came out of nowhere and was already
He's already in his 60s.
Yeah.
He just...
But that's kind of like Stephen Lang, too. He was always, around and in movies that I liked, and I did not really know who he was until that stupid Smurf movie with Avatar.
Stupid Smurf movie.
It's about the Smurfs, isn't it?
Yeah.
And ride dragons?
Stephen McHattie. He goes back to the 70s.
The first thing I saw him in was X-Files, because I think he's one of the, later on season, I think he's one of just the bad guys in suits that might or might not be aliens. I don't know. But then Pontypool is the only one that that was really the first one where he's in the movie the whole time, you know, and which was great. I loved that movie.
What a great movie.
Very creepy. That phone call where the kid is talking in another voice and shit. That gave you goosebumps.
Let's see. Stephen McHattie was in Geronimo.
Okay.
The Dark.
Not the one with William Devane.
I don't think that's the one I'm thinking. No. Not the same movie. This one has Brian James in it, though.
Of course.
Of course.
That's on your bingo cards, guys.
Yep. Scratch it off. You're getting one step closer to that prize of...
Don't say it. Wait until I get to mine, because I've got some to drop on you. What if they had a face-off, like a movie face-off, but it was Lance Henriksen and Stephen McHattie, and then they changed faces and nobody knew the difference, so it wasn't, the movie's over in like 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
They put their faces in the same type of like brining liquid or something at night.
So look what's happened to Rosemary's Baby. The worst title ever.
That's hard to say too.
It is very much so. Patty Duke.
What?
Yeah. Tina Louise.
Okay.
George Maharis.
Don't know who that is.
We talked about him because he was in one of our movies. Was it one of the Italian flicks we watched?
Well, do you want to stop the podcast and figure it out or just move on?
Yeah. Stick a pin in it. Anyway. Ray Milland, which I think I just looked at him today.
I think he was in the X, The Man with X-Ray Eyes, which I thought awesome. That's what you were doing, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
And he was in Frogs.
Oh, yeah. Gotta watch that movie.
So, yeah, watch that instead of Look What Happened.
Please.
Look what's happened. Oh, my God.
That sounds awful. Was it only on for one season?
It wasn't a TV show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You were talking about the TV show, which I think was that was recent.
I see.
Because my wife was watching that.
This George Maharis guy is also in a movie called The Satan Bug. I don't even know what that means. I'm clicking all these tabs off.
Clicking it off.
I'm leaving Transylvania 65000 up.
Because you want to talk about that. Go right ahead. Talk about Transylvania 65000.
Well, it has Gina Davis in a kind of Dracula's daughter kind of get up. It's not quite Elvira, but it is very low cut in the front, and you can see her boobies.
Boobies?
John Byner's in it.
Who's John Byner?
John Byner hosted a show when I was a kid.
Totally recognize him.
Called Bizarre. And he also did the voices of like a ton of different things. He was the voice of the thing, Gurgi. I couldn't think of the damn thing's name. He was Gurgi in The Black Cauldron.
I see that, yes.
I was big into Black Cauldron. There was like a computer game that I played, and I read the books.
If you scroll up a little bit, he was in Munchie Strikes Back.
Brother. Why does it feel like everything that it feels like someone has done this to us?
Somebody's fucking with us.
Yeah.
Google's fucking with us. Oh, they want to see more of this. Here's one that we have to watch. Oh my gosh, it's all around everything we're talking about right now.
Okay, let me write this down.
He's in a movie called RoboDoc. This is 2009. It's National Lampoon RoboDoc, which reads, a robotic doctor thwarts the plans of a greedy lawyer. That's all you get.
Oh, man.
Alan Thicke.
David Faustino.
David DeLuise.
What? Is someone pranking us? Michael Winslow's in it, too.
Oh, we haven't talked about him in a while.
Nope.
Nobody's talked about him in a while.
Well, when we end up doing our Police Academy cast.
That's it.
Oh man, he's so great. Larvell Jones is his name in Police Academy. Did you know, kind of on the same subject, sort of, did you know that there are like multiple Revenge of the Nerds movies?
Yeah, there's like 5. There's like Nerds in Love. Nerds in Paradise.
Now I remember that was the second one, right? Or the third one?
Nerds in Paradise I think was the second one.
Okay, I saw that.
Nerds in Love might be part 4.
Really?
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Have I seen it? No. I did see Revenge of the Nerds part 2 at the theater.
Go on. Is that the one where Booger has the who farted shirt?
I think that was in the first one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that kind of shirt-making technology back then, but they probably did.
Revenge of the Nerds 2 was in 1987, so I was 15.
Jesus, I don't think I realized that was that long ago.
All right, well, let's get on to my list of stupid movies. How about that?
Okay.
I say
Sure.
stupid. I mean, I was reaching out, guys. I wanted to give you something to shoot for. One of them is a video nasty.
Okay, good.
And that's the first one I'm going to be talking about today. But should you go out and watch it? Maybe not.
Okay.
I'll spoil it for you so you don't have to sit through it.
Okay.
But it's one that I've seen this box art too. I thought for sure this is going to be my hot new slasher flick.
Mm-hmm. And not so much.
There were some notable deaths, but overall kind of boring. 1982, The Slayer.
Oh, okay.
Two couples become stranded on a rugged isle and are haunted by a supernatural beast drawn to the wife of one of the couples who dreams of its killings. It's a really hard sentence.
That's not a plot.
It needed help. It did.
Yeah. What everybody would know, even if they've never seen it, is the makeup for the monster, because it's pretty. You've probably seen it before. But
at the same point, it's barely seen.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they spent the money on this monster. Why didn't they show it?
Yes, that looks pretty awesome.
And it's in pick 27 of 49 on IMDb. And that's a good pick. That's a creepy looking monster.
Yeah, sure.
I really wish we would have been able to see that.
Yeah.
But maybe this was around the time that they were like less is more.
Yeah.
No, more would have been better, I think.
Better. I mean, I get why they,
Maybe it would have been too cheap looking.
That's what I was thinking. Like, they've, just like didn't put in some shots that were just too, the thing was looking too goofy, or.
You could see the 2x4s, holding it together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But this film was banned in the United Kingdom as a video nasty, and I couldn't tell you why.
I mean, the name says that things are going to die.
Very minimal cast.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? Two couples that they're stranded on this isle. Basically,
they don't know how boats work.
Well, they were flown in, and the pilot, who comes back into the film and he's kind of creepy. He warns them saying, "Hey, there's a storm coming. I'm not going to be able to come back and get you.
But I'm going to go ahead and cheese out of here."
Yeah. Yep. See ya. These couples, I think the brother and sister, they're not a couple. They're
okay.
But that's why they went to this island, because this woman's all stressed. She's having dreams, constant dreams. And I guess she's had these as a child, as this monster. And she keeps seeing different things on this island that remind her, oh, I've seen this in my dreams. I've drawn this. I painted this. And everybody thinks she's insane. And so does the audience. And that's fine.
Right.
But they go to this island as a treat, a getaway. It's a vacation type spot. The house is kind of cool, but I think that's really the only standing structure on this island is really this house.
Right.
In the trivia, it actually spoke of, although in ruins during the shooting of the film, the Tybee Post Theater was reconstructed by a nonprofit organization and reopened in 2009. It's actually a really creepy setting in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's underutilized, but it was cool to see. She goes all around kind of exploring.
Well, now, is that the same? I've seen this movie not that long ago.
Yes.
And there's a scene with a trapdoor.
Yes.
I don't know if you know.
That may be the best one, the best death.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to explain it, but it seemed to me like a avoidable death.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, some of these movies, the counselor or whoever, they're kind of helping the killer a little bit by being like monumentally stupid. And
it kind of made me think of, I think it was Saw 2, right? Where the girl was going to get the antidote or whatever, and it was in that trap box that she stuck her arm in, but she couldn't pull her arm back out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's kind of like how this guy just poked his head out these, and I guess it was like an elevator shaft or something that opened onto the roof. It's not really clear.
Well, and the way that it happened, that thing's on a hinge, and the way that it happens, like, he'd have to just hold his neck at a certain position for that thing to like slam down on top. It's not like a...
It's two doors. It opens. They both kind of come down and clamp around his neck.
Right.
But I still enjoyed that death because he just.
It is good, but it just seems like he's like suicidal or something. Oh. He wanted that to happen. There's also a pitchfork death that's in the pictures. That again, I wish we'd. Oh my God! Let's devote the rest of our lives to doing a breakdown of what implement was used. And how many times, we'll just get a big chart going. You in?
Sure, yeah. Pitchfork deaths.
I'm going to send in my 2 weeks notice to work right now because it's going to take some time. We're going to be like monks. We're going to be like living in a little like room together. The microwave.
And that's all we have.
Just a microwave.
Most popular stabbed with a pitchfork movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
No, that's actually something that pulled up on IMDb.
Oh, really?
Yes, it actually has.
Oh, I was naive thinking that nobody had tabulated all that yet.
You can actually on refined searches and keywords.
Oh my God.
You can click on stabbed with a pitchfork. Pitchfork says 22.
It's got to be more than that.
But it also says bare-chested male.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. They're really like. There's all kinds of filters you can apply to it.
Uh-huh.
Stabbed with a pitchfork.
The Prowler.
Yeah, for sure.
Delirium. I don't remember Delirium. That's Lamberta Bava. We're gonna have to watch that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's incomprehensible. Also, The Burning had like hedge clippers or something.
Yes. So there was Excessive Force, I guess, had a pitchfork death. I don't remember that. There's a movie actually called Pitchfork, 2016.
Right.
At least it made the list.
I guess we should have figured that. Did, what's his name?
Thomas Ian Griffith.
Thomas Ian Griffith. I never can remember his whole name. I wonder if he's the one that killed somebody with a...
I don't know.
We'll never know because I'm not watching that movie.
All right. Pitchfork deaths. Look that up.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Slayer, it says here, the pitchfork murder was done in a single take. I think that pitchfork death, the girl is in a boathouse and there's only like 4 main people in this movie.
Yeah.
At least 2 of the 4 had gone into this boathouse and did the same thing. The director probably said, okay, open that cabinet and look for something.
We're going to throw a cat at you.
What am I looking for? I don't know. Just look for it. And they just randomly pick up stuff and set it down.
Yeah. Keys, batteries, something. Just
act your ass off.
Just act.
Here comes the killer.
Yeah.
And really that death could have been avoidable. And actually the girl, I think she turns around and like walks straight into a fish net. And so she's like trapped for a moment. Yeah.
She's as smart as a tuna. It also says that there's a paddle used as a killing weapon, which I'm sure that's happened before. But actually, Jason's done that before, hasn't he?
Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I think that was the actual last death, which was written in here. The original ending was written in the script, had Kay being killed by the Slayer.
Well, I should hope so.
There's a death that actually has the writer, director, who is
J.S.
Holy
Cardone.
Cardone.
Let's not.
Cardone.
I think we're swinging a little too hard on that. Well, no. Now I see his face. He does like a Cardone. He has like a little kerchief around his neck.
And this film kind of has that feel of like Italian horror flicks. It's like it was they were trying to reach for that, but couldn't obtain what the Italian films have.
Right.
And
they probably didn't have a super loud synth score going through the entire thing either.
That's what they were missing.
That's what they were missing.
But there was a scene at the very end that I read in the trivia that said that they put a kill at the very end. I think that was the director.
Oh, okay. Was the victim or the...
Yeah, he was the victim.
Okay, gotcha.
If you look at this guy, he's written and directed a lot of stuff, but some of the actors come back for these movies.
Right.
That they all kind of work together. He's uncredited for Puppet Master.
Yeah, I saw that.
See, Crash and Burn, which was also... Okay, so he's tied in with Charles Band.
Okay.
From doing Puppet Master, but he wrote Crash and Burn, which Charles Band directed.
Interesting.
So there is one notable death in this film that had me laughing too, which shows a guy out by the beach or what, and you see a fishing pole rise up and you can see the hooks on it. It goes around the guy's neck and just starts dragging him into the ocean.
Okay, like the string has a mind of its own.
Well, whoever's pulling the string.
Or did he like bolo it around his...
Yeah.
Okay.
The hooks are in his neck and he's clawing at his throat as he's being pulled into the ocean. But the scene is shot so dark that you can't see what's pulling him out in the ocean.
Right. Well, just couldn't get a light on that side of the dock.
But I really don't know why this movie made it into the video nasties.
It's simply not nasty enough. Yeah, it seems like the monster is scary.
But you barely see it.
You're right.
It's all built on suspense. There's only 5 deaths. It's just, there's just long scenes in between that are just go on for too long.
Monotonous.
Well, in the trivia, and I'll go ahead and spoil it for everybody. You can watch it or not. You can fast forward about 3 or 8 minutes to get past what I'm getting ready to say if you want.
There, you've had your warning.
Yeah. The original ending was written of the main character being killed by the Slayer, but she wakes up as a little girl.
Oh.
And so the whole movie, everything was a dream, and she's dreaming of basically her future and her future death, which would have been way cooler if they explained it like that. But
she wasn't a soldier in Vietnam and is flashing back right before she died. Was that Dallas that did that?
Yeah. From JR being shot. Was that right?
Yeah, maybe. Who's to say?
They didn't wake up and they were in a snow globe or something?
I think so, but...
Okay.
Again, it'd be easy to look up, but I'm not going to do it. The other writer, or the screenplay writer, Bill Ewing,
Bill Ewing.
He was as an actor, he was in an episode of Automan and an episode of WKRP in Cincinnati as a hospital worker.
What is Korg 7000 BC?
I saw that too. His name's
He
Bach.
played Bach?
I imagine he has a chicken head like helmet on or something.
And it does look like that.
Ooh.
19 episodes. A family of Neanderthals struggled to survive in the harsh conditions.
This is where those Geico guys came from. I think. Right?
This looks hilarious. I can't wait to visit this.
I have never heard of that, ever.
Nope.
Oh, Lord.
It's a short-lived Saturday morning live-action series.
Thank God. They finally put on Land of the Lost, and everybody's like, okay, this is perfect. Nailed it. What's the little guy's name in Land of the Lost?
Chaka.
Chaka. I bet you that kid in Korg is Chaka.
That's what I thought when I saw him.
Man. Guess we could look it up, but...
I could look it up.
I don't want to know who Korg or Bach or Mara or Tane or Tor or Ree. I don't know who any of those people are.
So Bill Ewing was also in the movie The End with Burt Reynolds, Sally Field, and Dom DeLuise. And The End was written by Jerry Belson. And Jerry Belson was the breather in Student Bodies.
This podcast that me and you do.
Are we going to wake up and all of this has been a dream?
Oh, I wish. I used to get excited about all of these connections, and now it's just like...
But of course.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it is. I really used to think that it was like getting into the Hellraiser box, like we were just like making all these connections and it would all be, it would all make sense at some point, but it doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
It's just so random.
And the pain and torture is just what we endure to bring this quality entertainment to your ears.
Yeah, we're doing all of this so you don't have to.
Nobody wants to.
Although we could use some help, but at this point, we've already been irradiated. We're going to die. We're just going to do these last few movies before we do.
And my favorite movie is...
I think he said Whoopie Boys right before he died. What does that mean?
Oh, shit. You made me spit out my water.
I thought you were going to say Retainer.
All right. So that is The Slayer, my first pick.
Pretty good.
The director, J.S. Cardone, who also did such quality entertainment as Alien Hunter, which is James Spader.
What?
Actually, the box says James Spader, Alien Hunter.
So he's playing himself?
If you look at the writers on it, that's J.S. Cardone. And oh, look, Boaz Davidson.
Ah, good old Boaz. Or Bose. We still don't know how to say his name.
No idea. We just brought him up. And he's going to keep coming up, I guess.
Yeah.
But look at the credit right above that is The Scare Hole.
What?
The Scare Hole.
Oh, what is The Scare Hole?
The original title, I guess, was Mummy and the Armadillo. Not and, A-N, apostrophe. I have no idea. This has Betty Buckley in it.
Okay.
If you'll remember, Betty Buckley was, her first credit was in Carrie. She was the therapist.
Oh, sure. She's kind of the only one that gives a shit about Carrie.
Right. It also has Brad Renfro in it. We haven't heard about Brad Renfro in a long time.
Nope.
And he was the kid in The Client.
Wasn't he the kid in Apt Pupil? He
we've
passed
talked
away,
about
didn't he?
Yeah, he died at the age of 25. We did talk about him. What did he die of? Just overdose?
I think it was drugs.
Yep, heroin overdose.
Well, thank you for leaving us on that dark note.
This also has Busey Phillips or Busy Phillips. What's her name?
I believe.
Busy? Oh my God. Whatever.
Hey, Betty Buckley's in Preacher, the new,
Yes, I saw that. I watched the first season and I think it's already taken off the air. So now it's when I'm really going to get into it.
I didn't want. That's one of my favorite comics. I could not bring myself to watch it.
So anyway, The Scare Hole. Be sure and watch.
I feel like you've said that like 10 times.
The Scare Hole.
But what is it?
A young woman stops at a rundown roadside diner during a dark and stormy night, which sets in motion a series of events that bring out dark secrets, psychological quotes, and more.
What?
Really?
I don't think you read that right. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Psychological quotes. Is this the same thing that Martin Landau read in the bathroom of Without Warning?
Maybe. Psychological quotes.
Psychological quotes. So,
I don't know what that means.
Written, directed by J.S. Cardone.
Who, I'm looking at a picture of him. He kind of looks like the director when Leonardo DiCaprio goes to Italy to do that Western in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, yes.
He's supposed to be like a Sergio Leone type guy, but...
Gotcha.
He also looks like the guy from TerrorVision a little bit.
Oh, yes.
I always forget his name. What's his name?
Garrett Graham?
No.
Or talk about Grandpa.
No, the swinger guy from the...
Oh, Alejandro Rey?
Yes, Alejandro Rey.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that is The Slayer.
Cool.
1982.
Tim gives it a solid 2 stars. What would you say out of 5?
Yeah, I'd say a 2.
2.
If it had more monster effects in it,
right,
I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, clicking that off.
Thank goodness.
Wow, that was nice to close out 2 tabs there. That was... I feel like a fly, I have so many screens open, it seems.
Sometimes you get on IMDb, and I honestly did not even remember where I started from. So I kind of like doing these little themed, my portion of it. I wanted to do a couple of movies about bugs, killer insects.
Okay.
There are a bunch to choose from.
Oh, yeah.
I started writing them down, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to stop because I've already got like 20 of them right here. I'm basically talking about insects being like the main character, like the main protagonist,
Okay.
Because some of these they technically are bug movies, but...
What would you call like The Beast Within? Would you call that a bug movie?
I mean, yeah, because, if you're calling The Fly a bug movie, which I consider The Fly a bug movie.
Yeah, okay.
Especially since he turns into a bug.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic movie. It's a Cronenberg movie. You guys should have watched it already. So...
on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis? I don't know if I could, because it gets pretty gross. Anyway... So my first pick is a movie that I feel like was on TV all the time when I was a kid. I've seen it several times. And it is simply called Bug.
Okay.
Do you remember this movie?
Let me pull it up, because I was thinking Bug with...
Yeah, the William Friedkin movie with Ashley Judd and Michael Sheen. Yeah, not that one.
Not Michael
That's
Sheen.
Not what we're
that was
talking
Michael
about.
Shannon.
Shannon.
Yeah, Michael Shannon.
Michael Sheen's the Scottish guy. He sounds like Shrek.
There are 54 titles. You're going to have to give me a...
Okay, this is hard on IMDb. You have to type in Bug space 1975.
Okay.
That's the year it came out. I don't know why it's hidden until you hit those numbers, but...
I have not seen this.
Really? That's interesting, because I feel like it was always on like afternoon TV. It's rated PG, and it might be a TV movie. Sometimes it's hard to tell because I guess over time they've released them as their own like feature, so they don't mention that it's a TV movie,
Oh my God. Alan Fudge is in
I know.
Bug.
I was like, now where did I see him earlier? It's like I'm so used to seeing him. It's like living in a haunted house when you've kind of made friends with the ghost,
I was like, Alan, I forgot you were there.
Gave me a start. I was trying to make a sandwich over here. But yeah, again, just those synchronicities. And I feel like we're really getting some good work done. Either that or we're like bringing about the apocalypse.
That's it.
Anyway, it has a couple of people. I recognize Bradford Dillman. In
That's a
Hollywood, where
great
you can
name.
just change your name willy-nilly, why would you stick with Bradford Dillman? That sounds like
You don't think that's his real name?
sounds like a Simpsons character. Oh, if it is his real name, he needs to change it. And the character's name isn't better. It's James Parmenter.
Yes.
I think we've talked about this before, where I don't know why writers give their characters these like almost kind of hard to pronounce names, unless it's just an inside thing and one of their buddies is like, dude, Parmenter. I've never heard that name in my life. Gerald Metbaum, Norma Tacker. They all feel like something that Bart is calling into the bar to make Mo say. But anyway, yeah, Alan Fudge, of course. Joanna Miles, which I recognized her in the movie, but then when I looked at her credits, she's still making movies. And I think she's in her 60s or 70s.
That's pretty awesome.
It opens on a Sunday morning church.
Okay.
And they're listening to the pastor or whatever, and there is an earthquake in one of the cheesiest earthquake scenes I've ever seen.
Like it was on the bridge of the USS Enterprise?
Yes. Everything's just, well, no, they're not. There are some practical effects. The church like cracks in half, which is kind of cool looking. But I think it's Alan Fudge and Joanna Miles are sitting next to each other. And when it cuts back to them, there's a lot of people just kind of rolling around on the ground and letting like plaster and stuff, hit them in the face. And they could easily get up and just walk out of the church. But I don't think you're supposed to see those wide scenes. But yeah, Alan Fudge and Joanna Miles look like they are just constantly getting one pew lightly tilted upon them. And then there's just some kind of plaster dust in the air. So anyway, I think it's our guy Bradford Dillman. No, he's like a biology teacher, okay? He also looks like a biology teacher in real life. There's immediately this giant crack. They look like they're in Arizona or something. Everybody lives about 20 miles away from everybody else. And there's a big crack on, I don't know which character, one of their farmland. And it's kind of glowing a menacing color.
And so these creatures crawl from that and start wreaking havoc?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's where the titular bug comes from. I mean, this movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid because I had never seen anything like that. Well, now, if you've seen Fear Factor or anything like that, you know that these things are basically cockroaches.
Yes,
they're those Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
But I guess they can spell?
Yeah, yes. And that I also remember that from watching this as a kid, that they spelled out "We live" on the I was like, okay.
There's one pic on number 24 that shows one of these cockroaches going near the ear of a girl, which is just very reminiscent of like Star Trek II, the Rabbit Con.
Yes. Or
Botany Bay.
Yeah, big sweaty face. Why can't I think of his name?
Walter Koenig.
Or Koenig or whatever. Yeah, they do. They also kind of look like Uhura's earpiece too.
Oh yeah, it's just a little earbud. If I could get some cockroach earbuds, that would be awesome.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
They're earbugs.
Earbugs.
Oh, it sells itself.
Shut the podcast down. Delete all of this.
Got to delete this. Yep. Nobody steal this idea. Copywritten.
Yep. Mail it to yourself. That's how you. So their main thing is they're not normal cockroaches, of course.
Do they have some kind of cicada noise when they're moving or anything like that?
They have a very annoying kind of chirp that they do that it intensifies when somebody's going to get attacked, of course,
Yes.
They have the ability to start fires. That's what it says in the description of the movie.
What?
And They just kind of like have a little LED or something in them. Well, this is from 74, but they just have a little light. And then they have like a smoke effect. And the first couple of deaths in the movie are vehicular in manner because I guess the bugs have managed to cut the gas line. Okay. And then, I don't know, insert themselves in the exhaust somehow and fucking blow up a car. Like they're the IRA or something.
That is hilarious.
And also, if they get on you, you know, they can do that same burning thing, set your hair on fire. That happens a couple of times. But the fact that they can write "We Live" on the wall, now like sabotaging cars doesn't seem out of their,
right.
You know,
as
range.
it says here in the taglines on IMDb, they look like rocks, possess a high intelligence, have no eyes, and eat ashes. They travel in your car exhaust. They make fire. They kill.
Wow, that's the longest tagline I've ever heard.
Is that all on the box art? I gotta see this.
I don't know. That's awful. But, I mean, that's exactly what happens. I don't know. They don't have eyes? Yeah, well, of course they do. How do they? Anyway.
Checklist after viewing bug. This is on the poster here. Check your car. Check your neck. Check your hair. Check your bed.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know. That's really bad.
That's 1975. That's great. As a side note, your boy Dillman, he was in The Swarm.
Okay.
1978. We brought this up just the other day.
Yes.
Because of Killer Bees that had Michael Caine, Richard Widmark, Richard Chamberlain, Olivia de Havilland, Ben Johnson, Patty Duke,
Bradford Dillman,
Slim Pickens, and Bradford Dillman, Henry Fonda, Cameron Mitchell. It'd be easier to name who's not in this film.
Yes. Cameron Mitchell, he is going to be a reoccurring person more than anybody else.
I think so.
I wonder if we have enough movies kind of compiled now that we can run the numbers on that type of thing and see. Also in Bradford Dillman's, the pictures for his bio, he's in Escape from the Planet of the Apes, and there's a picture of him just laying a big one on a ape, I don't know who that is. I think he's kissing Roddy McDowell.
I thought he meant he was like doing a Cleveland steamer.
No, nothing like that. Although I definitely think he has a bug fetish at this point. He
was in Lords of the Deep. I've seen that box art, and I think we've talked about it briefly.
I'm pretty sure that's a Corman movie, but I'm not sure.
He may have had something in it. It had Priscilla Barnes in it.
Yeah. Love Priscilla Barnes.
So no, just bug movies in general. Are you just talking about this one, or you want to go?
No, I got a couple more.
This is your theme, not necessarily the movie. Okay.
Yeah, right. I got 3 or 4 movies that I watched for this. The next one that I'm going to do is really like, that's the one that I would encourage people to watch the most. But this one's pretty good. It's got some cool stuff in it. I think it's the last movie that William Castle wrote. I'm trying to think if it's... it's directed by... I cannot even pronounce that name. I assume it's French, maybe? Jeanot Swark?
That's a bad Scrabble hand.
Yep. Something's mixed up there. I think that's a word jumble.
We're playing Boggle. Or is it Bogle?
Let's not get into that old argument.
Thomas Page wrote the novel.
Yes, it was adapted from a book. Which, I mean, it would barely even be like a Hardy Boys adventure or something, you know?
Which it says here he's got a self-credit for Spine Tingler.
Well, now, in Bug?
It is under the writer, Thomas Page.
Oh, I see.
Which looks like it's the only thing he's ever done. The novel was called The hephaestus plague. I can't. Somebody help me.
Yeah, don't. Okay, but that spine tingler, I think that's a documentary about William Castle. Because he was one of those guys. He did a bunch of really kind of low budget movies, but he was the one that was really trying to like pioneer like another dimension of these movies, which is basically like the trick of like having something like brush your legs or something in the theater while you're watching the movie.
Oh, awesome.
And like smell-o-vision and shit like that. And so the Tingler.
Yeah, he actually produced the Tingler.
Yes.
And I remember watching the Tingler.
Yeah. I think that might have been one of the only times that they did agree to like install whatever his. I want to say it gave people that sat down kind of like a little zap or something. Like he had a car battery hooked up to all the chairs, and I could be wrong about that, but
that's awesome. Wasn't that what the movie Matinee was about?
Yeah, right, exactly. What John Goodman was. I can't remember if they actually called him William Castle or if it was just based on William Castle. But it had some good stuff in it. So Bradford Dillman, finds out what this is. Somebody brings him one of the bugs and he starts studying it. And when all these deaths start occurring, because there's a guy and his son that blow up in their car. That's the first death. Okay. As the bugs have sabotaged their old Ford. The town is going nuts. Like things are just spontaneously bursting into flame. Cars are blowing up. And so Bradford Dillman kind of takes it upon himself to figure out how to, because, they're roaches. They're basically like unkillable. Unless you just smush them real good. Like Keith Richards. But, he stays in his house. This is the weirdest. I was so happy that they took it in this direction. He stays in his house with this weird apparatus. Don't even ask me because I did not bother looking it up. It looks like a diving helmet, and he is putting cockroaches in it to do some type of test. I don't know if it's like pressure or I don't know what they could learn from this, but spoiler alert, there's the same type of thing in the next movie that I'm going to do. So if there's any, if there's anybody out there that knows what the hell that device is, feel free. And also Bradford Dillman might have explained all of that at some point, but I was pretty checked out. Both of the movies that I did were I had a hard time paying attention to them until the last like 20 or 30 minutes when everything just goes batshit crazy.
Awesome.
So anyway, Bradford Dillman's trying to figure out how to kill these things. I think he ends up finally just getting some bad news that they are, not only can you not kill them, but they're continuing to mutate. Which is making them more dangerous.
Just like cockroaches.
I guess.
You throw down some poison,
Yeah, exactly. They just grow stronger and more confident.
Yes. That's why the cockroaches will live far beyond human life, is because they've adapted to everything we've thrown at them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's like people who have a giant bottle of amoxicillin and they're like, every time they get a sniffle, they just take a couple of pills. That's not good for you. You're going to develop an immunity to that. And then what are you going to do?
Yes.
So anyway, he finally comes up with a thing. Like I said, last kind of half of the movie, shit starts really taking off. Oh my God. Joanna Miles is the other, that's his wife, I take it. Anyway, I walked away. This is one of those movies that I did laundry while I was watching it. And my wife was asleep on the couch. And there's two scenes where female leads in the movie get bugs on them and in their hair, and smoke is going over everywhere. Mm-hmm. And they are screaming at the top of their lungs for a whole minute. It almost seemed like they recorded a scream track and then just replayed it because it sounded like the same scream the second time. It just went on. And it was just like, okay, we get it. It hurts. Looks like somebody's putting a cigarette out on your head. Anyway, that happens twice. There's a lot of animal cruelty, not just to the bugs, but to other animals, especially cats, in both of the movies that I'm going to talk about today.
Yes. Cats are being thrown into the scene.
Thrown around. There's a grip on the other side. They're just throwing cats like footballs back to each other.
There's an actual catapult.
A catapult. No animals weren't harmed in the making of this film or the next one. But yet there is a really disturbing scene where a cat gets one on its head. It's flipping around. There's smoke coming off of its head. It's not great. It's not. I kind of turned away a little bit.
Okay, so the bug didn't go into the cat's exhaust and blow it up.
Not this time. Good. Now, the next movie I'm going to do, I will talk about the cats. It's wild.
So how did they get rid of the bugs?
Well, they don't. It actually has a really dark ending where it is like, Bradford Dillman is basically, he's grown a beard in like 3 days and he's just sweaty in his little cottage trying to come up with the thing and doesn't. And if anything, he's like, my God. They're just becoming like invincible. They're going to fucking take over the world.
Yeah, I see on picture 37 on IMDb, he's just got a beard. And he's got like 5 of them on his chest, and they're just...
It's not great.
They're just eating ketchup off his tum-tum.
Yep. Which I guess some of the people probably did have those things crawling on them, which isn't cool.
But can you think about back in this time where they just... some of the ushers come into the theater and just start throwing fake bugs into the audience.
Yes, that would be so fun. I'm serious. If they did shit like that, I agree with William Castle. It would be fun if there was kind of another dimension to see in the movie. I don't want to spoil the ending of the movie because you might actually want to watch it. It's pretty cool.
Look at picture 6 of 37. You got Bradford Dillman and Alan Fudge right there.
Wow. It's like in Heat when De Niro and Al Pacino meet for the first time. I see it. Yep, right there. That is Alan Fudge. Okay. I'm on solid ground now. There's Alan.
All right. But Bug, that's pretty cool.
Fast forward it to about the 45-minute mark and you'll see some pretty cool shit.
My next movie I'm going to talk about too. You can fast forward really through the entire thing. just watch it and fast forward if you even care.
Right.
Again, I was on this kick for, slashers and such, because it's easy to pick on. And there's been a lot of films that came out during the 80s that were on the bandwagon with slasher films.
Right. Yeah. Everybody saw how well the other ones did.
Right. And tried to do their best to mimic and or cash in, which this film did not. So I watched Satan's Blade.
Okay.
All right. Now I've seen this box art. I mean, there's a lot of Satan's movies.
Yes.
Around this time. It was probably they probably started well before. This was 1984. When I saw Satan's Blade as 1984, I'm like, this is my time. Yes. This is a movie that probably just stretched the boundaries, and I've never watched it. It was the perfect time for this type of Nope. I should have just kept on going.
Yeah.
This one was a stinker.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the stills from it. It's I can smell it from here. It's stinky.
Yeah, it's stinky. It reads, guests at a mountain ski resort are terrorized by a local possessed by a vengeful spirit of an ancient native mountain man.
Oh, man.
Nowhere in this movie did any of that come through.
Sounds good, though.
There's a group of women that are staying in the lodge, and I guess they're going skiing. We never see anybody skiing.
Are there any skis?
No.
Are there any equipment?
Never seen it. There was a guy was going fishing.
Okay. Did we say ski resort? We meant fish resort.
Right. There's 2 couples staying in one cottage, and Then you got the girls that there's like 5 or 6 girls that are just on vacation resort next door. And
they brought their lingerie with them. Don't worry.
Again, I should have known better. When you scroll down on the cast of characters, nobody has a picture.
Profile shot.
Nobody. Because this is the only thing
movie
that 98% of them have ever done. Yeah. And there's a reason for this. At least 3 shots, the boom mic is not only visible, but plays one of the main characters.
Kind of bonks her on the head, helping the killer. Oh, wow.
The blade... I mean, this is Satan's blade. I would expect this real kind of wavy, curved, snaky blade, maybe.
On it, maybe, or,
No. This has a knuckle duster on it. That's it. It's just a generic blade. And actually, it starts off, and I didn't necessarily get this at the beginning, but it also at the end, because somebody ends up throwing the blade into the lake. And it's like the lady of the lake raises her hand up through the water and throws the blade back out, and it sticks into a tree.
She's like, I don't want this piece of crap in my lake.
And
looks like it came from the flea market.
There's no real notable kills. The sound is really bad. The acting, if you could call, quote unquote acting, and or dialogue, there is nothing to be gained from this film. There's a little bit of boobs.
I see bare boobs in the stills. I guess he's like gathering them down at the bottom of a stairway. He's like, okay, if I just roll them down the stairway, then I can get all of them when I walk down. But yeah, there's 2 kind of scantily clad girls just sort of dead and laying on each other.
Yes.
And there's 2 freaking like Goomba cops just being like, well, you take the brunette and I'll take the redhead and we'll just... And there's also some kind of weird, Blair Witch.
Yes, that's the only time you actually see any symbology of Satan or whatever.
Right.
Is an X in the wall and like 4 handprints.
Right.
In blood.
Yeah. It's basically one step away from somebody turning their hand into a turkey, like the outline of their hand,
Oh, I did that in 1st grade.
Exactly. The killer's not very sophisticated.
No. Well, I know that there's got to be better Satan's movies, okay?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, guys, that I stuck on this one, and I'm telling you, don't watch it. It is on YouTube. Flip through it. There's a couple of scenes that you can watch, a couple of the kills. There's not a whole lot to be gained from this.
It's a fool's errand to watch this movie.
And I'm not going to spend any more time on it because the next 2 movies I want to talk about are way better. So, give me some other Satan's movies that would better suit this.
Like you were saying earlier about slasher movies, there's a couple of really successful ones, and then there's a bunch of crappy ones where people were just kind of cashing in on, So there's a lot of good ones around, like Rosemary's Baby and Exorcist time, like The Sentinel. Man, The Sentinel is awesome.
Yes.
And it's like aping on Rosemary's Baby, but it does some things, a little differently. So The Sentinel, it's got a great cast. Chris Sarandon. I don't know who Christina Rains is, but she's really familiar. Martin Balsam, John Carradine, Jose Ferrer, Ava Gardner, Burgess Meredith, Eli Wallach, Christopher Walken. He's a cop in this. Jerry Orbach, Beverly D'Angelo. You'll know real quick if you've seen this movie because Beverly D'Angelo has a scene in it that is like, holy shit, what just happened? And it's kind of dirty too, so I don't know if I should. Jeff Goldblum's in it.
I want to say that I think I have seen this. I just don't recall anything.
Well,
especially since I'm looking at Satan's baby doll right now. Go ahead.
That might be your problem. You're going down.
Yes, down. I was supposed to be rising up,
right?
But no.
What is the movie with Ernest Borgnine as the kind of Satan?
That was that Deadly Blessings.
Is that what it is? Deadly Blessings?
Yes. Because it's like a Mennonite. I watched the trailer for it. I tried to find it to watch it, and it's not available to watch on any platform, and I didn't want to pay to rent it.
That's a Wes Craven movie.
One of the films that I watched this week, I did have to go down a different avenue to acquire the film to watch. So
I see.
Wink.
Right. Deadly Blessing, I'm going to go watch immediately. It has super young Sharon Stone in it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this is still not the movie that I'm talking about. So he's been in another one. There is a bare butt on the box art. I don't know if it's on IMDb, but I don't know if it's on the actual thing.
Anyway, we can go straight into your thing, but I just wanted to see a Satan's movie.
But you were tired of the good ones. You just wanted to see a really...
So go ahead with your next, or do you want me to go into a better movie?
So you do you'll redeem yourself in your next segment?
I hope so.
Okay.
It's got to be better than this one. I started out on a medium note. I went down to the bottom. And now I'm rising back up a little bit.
Okay, kind of like...
my blood pressure?
Yes. Exactly. Well, yeah, I'll go on to mine.
Okay.
So keeping with the bug theme, think about it. There are tons of insect movies. And I really just settled on these two because they most fit our, kind of premise for the...
You didn't go down the killer bee genre?
What I couldn't figure out was, The Swarm is probably the most successful, maybe.
Was it? I thought
Bee movie.
Which one was the
see
Bee movie? But yeah. What was the one that they went to the Superdome?
Okay, that is why I'm trying to figure out. That was another Bee movie. I don't think it happened in The Swarm.
No, I don't think so either.
By the freaking way, Bradford Dillman is in The Swarm also.
Yes.
So do with that what you will. Catherine Ross is in The Swarm also.
By the end of you going on this segment, I will find out who is in it.
Are you going to kill me?
No, well, not yet. Why'd I have to whisper that?
That is creepy. I mean, you're going to have to Google. I've got too much stuff to do here. You're going to have to Google what movie did they drive a VW bug into the Superdome. Okay. So just
go ahead.
There's so many Phase 4, about ants, them, which was really, when Hollywood started making these insect movies, I think it was when we had first started doing atomic testing, and they were just well, what if, radiation or whatever made these things huge? And I want to say them might be one of the first kind of giant insect movies, but
was that in the 50s?
Yeah, maybe even the 50s. Oh, them, man. I've seen that movie 100 times. I think it was on, again, it was just on either late night TV or Saturday or Sunday afternoon TV. But there's bugs in everything.
Yes.
I mean, The Swarm, giant spider invasion, which was made by a fertilizer salesman. He made a movie called Monster A Go-Go that I still think is one of the most awful movies ever made. It's painful.
But have you ever seen it by itself or just with MST?
No, I've probably only seen the MST treatment, so maybe it's a great movie and they're wrong. I don't know. There's a movie just called Ants. A lot of ant movies, but like just normal ants, you know? I mean, Them was terrifying because they were like the size of a fucking, Volkswagen van, but, just ants on you. It's like, well, just brush them off, The Bay, I think, is
right
a bug movie. The E.G. Marshall.
I mean, we can keep going with bugs as in the same thing as parasites. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can go with that.
Yeah.
Would you say slugs?
Definitely. Squirm.
Squirm. Yes. Well, that was good.
E.G. Marshall's little short movie in Creep Show where he's like eaten by the cockroaches.
I loved it.
The Believers, but only because that one scene where that like spider crawls out of the chick's cheek. Remember that?
Was creepy shit. Yes.
I also have kind of like in parentheses down here, Slither. I mean,
yes,
it's sort of the same. It's a fantasy. It's a made up creature, but it still kind of has the like attributes of a bug. Night of the Creeps, it's kind of bug like.
Oh yes.
Phantasm that we talked about earlier. There's a scene where he chops one of the tall man's fingers off, and it turns into a bug and flies into his hair. Which I've got kind of long hair now, and that is pretty terrifying. We have a lot of bagworms. I don't know if you've seen these things, yes. But I walk through probably 100 bagworms every day and then just have to like brush my hair. They're like in their first stage. So if you try to flick them off of you, you just mush them. So there's just like guts all over you.
Oh, I've broken the tree limbs that have the bagworms on it and thrown it down to stomp on it. Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
No. You have to kill them with fire.
Yes. Let me interject with The Savage Bees, 1976.
Is this the movie?
That's the movie.
Let me get my eyeballs.
You can see pictures of the bees on the Volkswagen Bug.
Yep, that's it.
Funny that it was on a Volkswagen Bug.
Oh.
That they pushed inside the Superdome and dropped the temperature. No shit, really?
He's one of the doctors.
Awesome.
Ooh, at one of the I think picture number 11. Oh, it's the last picture in the production stills, but it's Savage Bees paired with Incredible Melting Man.
Oh, awesome.
Which I think it's either Stan Winston or Rick Baker's one of their first movies. Boy, it was really gross.
Look at picture number 3.
Yep.
That is a young Michael Parks.
Really young.
Oh, man.
This is then came Bronson era.
Michael Parks will be missed. He gave us some wonderful freaking characters.
Oh, yeah, for sure. His like kind of little monologue when he's buying the burrito at the convenience store and From Dusk Till Dawn. That's just classic.
Oh, I love him in Planet Terror.
Oh, yeah.
And in Death Proof. I think his monologue in Death Proof was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's great. I also have a movie where he is like a hard-ass Olympic volleyball coach. I don't know if you can wrap your head around that, but it is, oh, God, that's an awful movie. It's called Spiker. Yeah. Henry Fonda, he is in The Swarm doing some of the craziest acting. And I mean, like, he's won Academy Awards, right? I mean, like,
sure.
He has to. I feel like on Golden Pond or one of those he got, I don't know. Anyway, he's really hamming it up in this movie.
Why didn't I know that Michael Parks was in Twin Peaks?
He's not in it for very long.
No, he's like 5 episodes.
Yeah, and he's a very, he's like the bad guy. He's like whatever Audrey Horne's dad is doing, whatever he's up to. He like owes money to Michael Parks or something.
Ah. Anyway, what movie were you?
Oh yeah, we got off on
totally got off on bees.
I was looking around. I've seen this movie, seen the box art for this movie a million times, and just I've never seen it. I watched the 1987 movie The Nest, which everybody should know the cover for this.
Cover of the big cockroach. We brought this up before.
Yes, and a girl in lingerie, which that scene, I don't think that scene ever happens in the movie.
No, then why is there a reason to watch it?
I know. Well, I'll tell you one reason. If you're and this, I did not look at this ahead of time. I found this out organically, Maybe I should break down the plot a little bit. This kind of falls into like a them category where these bugs are attacking us because of man's like pollution, or it's kind of got one of those kind of
that's how these things evolved,
right.
Yeah, okay.
So it's this
you want to read it off?
I don't even know, does it say in the description? Okay, the short summary is: horrifying shocker as a biological experiment goes haywire when meat-eating mutant roaches invade an island community, terrorizing a peaceful New England fishing village and hideously butchering its citizens. I think bugs see a peaceful... I think in a horror movie, there is no better place than a peaceful New England fishing village.
That's it.
To really start fucking some stuff up.
So, but we're talking about meat-eating mutant roaches and not those pussy vegetarian roaches. Okay.
Doing yoga or whatever, eating tofu. No, these are meat eaters. This is like James Garner's kind of cockroach, they're just out there eating meat. It's getting blockage in their arteries.
Oh.
But again, they are these Madagascar hissing cockroaches. I guess there's something about those bugs that just we are instinctively grossed out by them,
And has anybody ever seen those?
Yeah, like in
other than in movies, because they're pets. You can buy them at the pet store.
Yes.
I don't know why, because what do?
Man, let me tell you. I work with a guy whose daughter is into bugs. It's a legit hobby. And I think she has these things, Take them out, play with them. I just talked to my wife this morning about getting a tarantula.
All right.
She's not going to let me get one, but I talked to her about it.
I got to tell you, some of the pics, even the first pic in IMDb, just looks gross as shit. Kind of like as if a cockroach... the cockroach wouldn't even describe this. This looks like the thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Okay, so that occurs in the last 30 minutes of the movie, Getting through the beginning of this is kind of a slog, Not the best acting in the world. I mean, who's to say? But really, it's pretty bad. But again, like I said earlier, these kind of serendipitous kind of things happen where there's all these connections. And eventually we're going to figure it out. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I have two, since we're not doing the kind of Kevin Bacon game anymore, I'm just doing it by myself now. So,
okay. Well, we are doing it. We're just not doing it for
We're taking
this.
a little, yeah.
It's coming back up in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Have no fear.
So, this is a two-prong attack. Lisa Langlois. That's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, that is very hard to say.
She's the female lead in this movie. I knew she looked familiar. So I started clicking around. She is in a movie called The Slugger's Wife. Okay?
Oh, she's in the class of 84.
Yes, she's in class of 1984 too. She's one of the bad guys, I think. She's like
really?
Timothy Van Patten's like girlfriend or something.
Awesome.
But
The Slugger's Wife was Michael O'Keefe.
Right.
Rebecca De Mornay. Yeah.
I think you see where I'm going with this. So
No, I don't.
Well, Michael O'Keefe is in the Whoopie Boys, but also,
God damn it.
but also, Stephen Davies as Homer, which his name is Homer. He's kind of the guy, like the guy in the last movie who is like kind of trying to figure the whole thing out.
Are we not on the Slugger's Wife anymore?
No,
lost.
you can close that. Do you remember that movie? Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, man.
I haven't.
Anyway.
And there's probably a reason.
But anyway, so Stephen Davies is in this too. And there's no 7 Degrees or whatever. He's just in the Whoopie Boys as another character. His name's Strobe. His name is Strobe in the Whoopie Boys.
And he was also in Lords of the Deep.
Okay, he has a very... When you look at his IMDb, he's a much older man now. It was driving me crazy because I know there's something that he's in that I really like, and he plays the exact same character. He's kind of like...
The Razor's Edge.
Yeah, but that's too... I mean, he's goofy,
TV
kind of.
movie of the boy who drank too much.
Yeah, I looked that up. It's Scott Baio.
Really?
Don't worry about it.
Of course it is.
I love those old kind of, like those morality, like made-for-TV movies.
And he was in Revenge of the Nerds 4.
That's why
Nerds
I wrote
in
that
Love.
down. I was like, 4? What? When was there a 3 and a 4?
And Blood Fist 7?
Yeah. Well, we all watched Blood Fist 1 through 6, but then we were like, are they going to do a 7? They have to.
Oh, and that was Don the Dragon Wilson still.
Oh,
just
okay.
So you know.
Good.
Yeah. Sorry I brought that up. Was he in all the Blood Fist movies? It looks like
I assume so. Blood Fist.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, so enough about Whoopie Boys, but
No.
this
is it really? When is enough?
We'll
enough
circle
for the
back
Whoopie
around
Boys?
before we
Okay.
sign off. I've got to admit, I did not look up. It's produced by Julie Corman, which is Roger Corman's wife. She produced a lot of movies. All of them kind of, in Roger's, kind of low budget. If you scroll down to other crew, the Animal Wranglers, which, there's cockroaches and one cat. So
and everybody's named
EYE. A whole family of animal wranglers. And you just have to imagine...
Named I, though. I don't think I've ever known anybody named just I.
I know.
Beth I, Brian I, Elizabeth I, James Bodie I.
The long winter nights at their house must just fly by.
James Bodie I is definitely a serial killer.
I like that name. James Bodie I.
James Bodie I.
It's fun to say. So again, this is your typical, the military or something has made this compound, that's supposed to do blah, 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 whatever. And it ends up getting dumped, in this place and creates, mutated bugs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of movies. There's a movie called Rattlers that's about, these super aggressive rattlesnakes in the desert, and it's because the military was dumping some type of weird toxin or something out there. So, along the same lines. But again, they're just these stupid hissing cockroaches and probably can't even hurt you. They're just gross,
So the director, by the way, his name is Terrence H. Winkless.
Yeah.
All right. Who also directed Blood Fist.
Oh, we did it. We solved it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But if you scroll down a little further, he wrote the screenplay for The Howling.
Right. Yes. He also looks familiar, kind of, because I think he's an actor too.
It kind of has this,
kind of Peter Coyote looking face a little bit.
Maybe with a little Ed Begley Jr., Bruce Derney, yeah.
His picture from years ago is not helping me out either. It doesn't look like anybody. He directed a lot of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shows, TV shows.
Nightmare City 2035.
That was in 2007.
And had Maxwell Caulfield in it.
Oh, boy. Wait, Not of This Earth? Oh.
Yeah, I've just clicked on it.
Wait a minute.
I'm like, wait a minute. We've talked about this.
If it has...
That's Michael York.
Wow. Parker Stevenson.
Oh, what happened to him?
Now, wait a minute. Okay, this isn't the same one I was thinking of. I was thinking
about something else, too.
I was thinking of the one with Tracy Lords.
Right. That is also Not of This Earth.
Okay. I'm not going insane. I don't want to be rude or anything, but I'm on eBay right now trying to find a copy of Blood Fist, and there's nothing to be seen.
Not of This Earth, Tracy Lords, 1988.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
Same title.
That's for another.
Totally cleared that up.
I'm glad we sussed that out.
All right.
So this movie stood out mostly because, again, 30 minutes from the end of the movie, everything starts blowing up. The special effects are pretty great. Okay, wait a minute. The guy that did the special effects for The Nest did the special effects for Not of This Earth, the one with Tracy Lords.
Oh, wow.
So,
damn.
He also did...
Very nice.
He also was on 976 Evil, Saturday the 14th, which, of course, we'll have to do eventually. Nowhere to Run, which for some odd reason keeps on coming up.
Yes.
No. This is a different one.
The different one? That's not Van Damme?
Not Van Damme. It stars David Carradine and Jason Priestley at a low point. Jason Priestley at a low point and David Carradine at a high point of his career. Anyway, so this movie, The Nest, like I said, was kind of your same old crap, kind of boring, but it had some really inventive special effects. If you look at photo number 2, whatever that blood thing is, that is a cat.
Yes, it looks awesome.
It does look awesome. It basically looks like a skinned cat with like dung beetle mandibles,
like pinchers. Yeah.
So that was gross. But yeah, there's a lot bigger budget on this movie than just having cockroaches crawl on people. There was a lot of that.
Or any of the films that I'm talking about.
Or any of the films that you're talking about. Right. The bugs skin a dog very early on, and it is gross looking. And there is another kind of mysterious scientist that shows up. This happens a lot in these movies.
That skinned dog is picture number 15.
So gross.
That is really gross.
There's a weird doctor who speaks in like these weird kind of riddles when she talks. Nobody knows why she's there, but her and Stephen Davies are trying to figure it out. I think like I said, I kind of nodded off in some parts, but I think that maybe he might be partially responsible for dumping that, whatever that fluid is, whatever it is.
Okay.
So she's trying to help him figure out what the fuck's doing this. And wow, she's real weird. She walks up to that dog and picks one of its ribs up, just up and out, and like she's at Golden Corral or something, and she basically does everything but like lick it,
Wow.
And
that girl, her name is Terry Trees. She's been in everything Alien Nation.
Oh, okay. She does have she has real pale blue eyes, sort of like
Meg Foster.
Yes, like Meg Foster. She kind of looks like Meg Foster just a little bit. Maybe it's just the hair in the eyes. But yeah, she's a real creep in this.
But she was in, I've brought this up before, So Fine.
Okay.
The movie So Fine that had the assless jeans.
Right, yes.
All right, with Ryan O'Neal.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I brought that up again. But if you look also, she was in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Great. Cool.
But she was in The Terror Within. And this is a movie that I want to revisit. But it also has Andrew Stevens in it and George Kennedy.
George Kennedy was in, I don't know if he was trying to put like his grandkids through college or something, but he was in literally everything. I mean,
everything.
But
he only has 188 credits, but maybe it's just around a lot of movies that we watch too.
Possibly.
He just keeps showing up.
Maybe.
Because he was in one that I might gloss over just because it was kind of connected to the movie that I'm going to talk about next. I watched a lot of trailers trying to find the right movie to watch, and I think I failed in my trip. Okay.
Like the trailer for this movie would be awesome. And then you start it and you're like, where is all this stuff? It's in the last 15 minutes.
Gotcha. I want to see this. I don't think I've ever seen this movie, and this box art is notorious.
Yeah. Yeah, the girl that plays Langlois, she had a couple of quotes in IMDb of, well, you know, you guys read it yourself. There's some stuff in there that's just, I don't think she had fun making this movie is what I was.
You don't think so?
No. She thinks that the girl on the cover is supposed to be her, and when she saw it, she was kind of pissed because it was like very exploitive and stuff. I don't know that that's supposed to be her.
I was looking at Transformations.
Yeah.
And that's not what I want it to be.
Never saw that movie. Oh, wait. No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
Transmutations. That's what I thought I was clicking on. But no, this is Transformations, or otherwise known as Alien Transformations. Don't even bother clicking on it.
I'm not.
Don't do it.
If you put the word alien on movies around this time and they're not Alien, like Ridley Scott's Alien, they're pretty much trash.
Or James Spader as Alien Hunter.
James Spader, I would watch.
My wife has been watching The Blacklist nonstop.
It's weird
and
seeing...
every time I go through there, the living room, I can just hear him talking, and it sounds like he's being...
He's like sort of Batman, but sort of not.
I can't take it.
Yeah. It's weird seeing guys that were super fit in the 80s. They're getting kind of beefy now, you know? Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Kind of like looking in the mirror.
Yep, including myself. But anyway, guys, watch The Nest. It's really pretty average throughout the whole thing, and then the last 20 minutes are completely psycho.
Watch this movie. It's pretty average.
The scientist gets her arm ripped off in a really weird, badly edited scene. That thing at the end, though, they must have blown their budget on because it looks fucking great.
Awesome.
One of the faces, oh my God, that thing is, you could spend an hour looking at all of that. There's a skull, which out of the skull's open mouth, one of the like mandibles is coming out, you know? Mm-hmm. The guy in the middle looks like Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure for some reason. I don't think he's a character in the movie. And then there's another guy who's kind of stuck in there too. But that monster's pretty cool. Pretty rad.
I'm excited. There is is this French or this is a Spanish poster art?
Yeah, there's a Japanese one that's just like a big blob with like legs coming out of it.
Oh yeah, I see it. That's awesome. That's number 20. That's pretty cool.
I like that. That like transformation poster where it's like turning into a cockroach or whatever. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen in the movie. That thing is at the very end, but nobody transforms into a cockroach.
Gotcha.
But that art is really awesome.
I dig it.
So, The Nest.
I totally dig it.
And guys, do yourself a favor and get Whoopie Boys. It's on Amazon, I think. It's a great movie.
This concludes our portion of endorsement.
I just make it a rule to see every Eddie Deason movie that there is. And it's done me pretty well so far.
Challenge accepted.
Sandra Bernhard is also in the Whoopie Boys.
Damn it.
I guess I'm just going to do my own podcast, I think.
Yep.
About the Whoopie Boys.
Need we ask? The next movie that I covered in my trek down things that I couldn't remember or hadn't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about it before. Maybe it's because of Daphne Zuniga.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Dabney Coleman.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. If Dabney Coleman was in a horror movie, please let me know. I want to see it.
Drove right past him in one of these IMDb things. I know he's in one of the movies that we've mentioned, but couldn't tell you what it is.
I watched 1984, best year ever.
Yeah.
The Initiation.
Does it have a candle on the front?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the sorority girl as a candle being held. This has Vera Miles.
Okay.
From Psycho. Clu Gulager.
Oh, man. The Clue cast.
And Daphne Zuniga.
All right. Great.
And I really did enjoy this film.
Cool.
Okay. And it's a slasher. I'll read it off.
Okay.
While trying to understand a frightening, reoccurring nightmare, a pledge is coaxed into breaking into her father's department store by her sorority sisters, where a deranged killer targets the girls and their boyfriends.
Okay.
Simple.
Yep.
This is like a high-end, like LA open-air mall.
Okay.
Almost. It seems like it's huge. That only takes place in part of the film. Okay. It starts off as like an asylum, and some of the inmates escape from the asylum.
Okay.
Kind of got that slasher feel, the crazed lunatic going out to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
But Daphne Zuniga is playing a girl she is plagued with nightmares, a reoccurring nightmare. Basically, she walks in on her mom having sex with another man.
Not Clu Gulager?
In the dream sequence, it's hard to tell out who's who, and they do that for a reason.
Okay.
Another man comes in, which you can only assume is the husband. There's a struggle, and somehow it looked like maybe it was supposed to be like one of those oil lamps or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm, like a kerosene lamp or something.
There was like some fluid for the lamp on the nightstand of the bedroom that was poured on one of the guys, and the guy caught on fire because of the fireplace. And it was just like strange.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a dream. You can write that up because it's just a dream sequence.
Right.
But in her dream sequences, and we see this a lot in the film, that she's just, you know, tossing and turning and saying things, "Daddy, no," or, you know, weird shit that's just way overacting for somebody having a nightmare.
Yeah. Like that person's awake at that point.
And this is Daphne Zuniga's first movie. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I take that back. I think this is the movie that says introducing Daphne Zuniga,
Gotcha.
But she's been in several movies before this.
Okay.
Her first movie was The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
Really?
Which really kind of seems like the same movie.
Yeah, I mean, and just looking at these stills, I mean, it looks a lot like Black Christmas or, you know, any type of, you know, looks like the same sorority.
So I guess she just had this look as a sorority girl.
Yeah.
There are plenty of boobs in this film.
Yeah.
Lots of girls walking around in 90s.
Yep.
You can see that in the pictures.
Yes.
The love interest and who is a professor at the college she's going to.
Right.
He's also doing a study. He's doing like his master's thesis on dreams.
Oh, well, that's convenient.
Very convenient. He also has like a dream chamber that they can monitor EKGs and brain waves and such.
Right.
So very convenient for the story.
Gotcha.
But it's not necessarily even her dream that is driving this story. Her dreams of this happening, which was really not necessarily a dream, but more of a suppressed memory. Because I think there was an accident that they talk about in the film that she doesn't remember. anything before this certain point in her life because she has an amnesia about her early, childhood.
Okay.
So it actually takes a while for them to get to the mall.
Okay.
Which they said is the department store, which, they're in a mall.
Right.
The 4 girls who are the leftover pledges for the sorority are being challenged on Hell Week to do whatever the sisters say they have to do, which is break into the department store and steal the night watchman's uniform and badge.
All right.
Strange, I know. But this is the movie that I was talking to you about. The killer was using a garden tool.
Right.
That was like one of those garden claws that has straight prongs instead of bent prongs. And there's a picture, if you want to click on 33 of 53, is Clu Gulager with that stuck into his neck. And it's pretty dang cool.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't look good. That looks like owie. Now, is there a garden shop in the mall? Or where would they get this thing from?
Well, that was actually at the house.
At the house,
like I said,
okay.
They didn't show the actual mall till, like you said, halfway into the movie when it starts really picking up its pace.
Gotcha.
But there's all sorts of weird happenings before that and people being killed. And Clu Gulager, I think he does a great job in this film. Look at picture number 29. This was the establishment that they have a gun.
He's got an ascot, like he's a...
Yes.
That's
what I wanted to bring up.
I mean, it's...
He pulls it off.
He pulls it off, exactly. He puts it on at night and just like hunts the neighborhood cats like he's on the Serengeti. Yep, I love him. He just adds so much to whatever movie he's in by being completely laid back until it's time to not be laid back and he has to fucking shoot you.
And I don't know how many films I've actually seen him in that he will sit back and prop his foot up on anybody's desk.
Yep, and just chew that scenery up. That is his acting style. That's what people expect from him. And he really is just like your uncle after like Thanksgiving dinner or something. Just like propped back and just kind of mumbling a little bit. It's great. There's a guy in this, I don't know who, his name's Chad in the movie, but Christopher Bradley. He is the little brother in The Wraith, Charlie Sheen's character. It's so confusing. His brother dies, and then Charlie Sheen comes back.
Jamie!
Yeah, exactly.
Jake and Jamie.
Yep.
So The Initiation, you can watch this on YouTube. It's fun. I do want to spoil it for you.
You do want to spoil it.
Yeah, so go ahead and fast forward again, either 3 to 8 minutes, if you don't want to hear the spoiler. But the whole story kind of bases around, her memories, her repressed memories, that she has a twin sister.
Okay.
And the twin sister is your killer.
How many times do you think that's been done in movies?
Probably too many times.
Too many times.
And this fact, they don't mention anything like that. You don't even hear the twin sister's name mentioned.
Right.
It's only until the boyfriend, the love interest, makes his way and unravels all the mystery, runs back to save her at the department store, only to be duped into, no, this is my evil twin sister, and get stabbed at the end, right? So
and he's like, but you weren't even mentioned. Oh.
Now, if you look at some of the pics, you can see Daphne Zuniga playing an evil, crazed, Chromocidal maniac.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a couple of pictures where she actually almost looks like the guy from The Beast Within.
Yes.
She's got kind of chubby cheeks,
Yeah.
but she looks very sweaty. And
but the only thing that they really do is like they apply, I don't know why it does this, but they just apply her makeup to her lips also, just kind of like whitening her lips out. And that's what they do to all those, it doesn't take a lot. And then she just makes a face and it instantly makes her look crazy,
Like picture 11. That's what I'm looking at. She looks
insane.
Kind of like Michael in The Beast Within.
Yeah, you're right.
My upper lip is stuck to my teeth because of the makeup you apply.
Yes. She has better dental work than the guy from...
So in the story, the nightmare sequence that she has about the affair with the mom, well, that is real. And the guy that was set on fire was her real dad. And Clu Gulager was the guy she was having an affair with, whom that she later married.
Okay.
So the father and the deranged twin sister were both in the same asylum and both broke out while dad was trying to save Daphne Zuniga from the evil twin. It's convoluted.
That is... And you figured all that out from the movie? Or did you have to have help?
Barely.
Okay. That's confusing.
Very confusing. But as for kills and for the slasher genre, it was fun. I would revisit this movie again. I mean, this was one that I hadn't seen.
I knew exactly what the box art looked like, but I've never seen it. I will have to.
I mean, it's worth it to see Clu Gulager just...
Gooligan all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Having some sore throat pain from that garden utensil in his neck.
And lots of girls in little nighties.
Yeah. That's
You
fun.
do get to see Daphne from the backside as she strips and puts on some clothes.
Yeah, you see her butt.
So kind of a side boob. I'm not trying to speed through this movie. I mean, it's worthwhile, but I do have one more movie to watch. I mean, to explain.
Okay.
Or to talk about.
No, go right ahead.
So if you want me to jump right into it,
Do
or
it.
if you have another one you want to talk about.
I think I'm done. You bring us home.
If you do want to look at picture 17 of 53 in the initiation, that's her real dad with some weird starfish appliances on his face for burn makeup. Yeah.
When it looks like gravy skin a little bit when that kind of hardened stuff forms. He just has gravy skin.
He's got gravy skin. Anyway.
He can just get a topical treatment and that'll go away.
This movie was directed by Larry Stewart and Peter Crane. Actually, Peter Crane, they kept some of his shots, but they basically fired him and brought in Larry Stewart. So Larry Stewart, not a whole lot of TV. He did one TV series called The Thrill Seekers in 1973, which is every week a person or persons are featured who do dangerous stunts.
Okay.
The star and I guess host of the show was Chuck Connors.
Okay. Man.
It was
Chuck
on
Connors.
for like 2 episodes.
Right. Yeah. Yep. This is obviously not working.
Immediately shut down. Yeah.
The guy that wrote The Initiation also wrote a lot of soap operas.
Same thing with the director. He did some episodes of Bionic Woman, Incredible Hulk,
Cool.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
Fantasy Island, Buck Rogers.
Wow.
And a show called Here's Boomer, which was a dog.
Yeah, I knew it had to be some type of lovable...
Yeah, this famous dog who is not Benji, but looks like Benji, Johnny the dog, had his own TV show called Here's Boomer. And he actually, He played Boomer in a series back in 1977 called The Red Hand Gang.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
That sounds like a weird sex thing. Was it the border collie from Down and Out in Beverly Hills?
Maybe. This was a lot older than that. One of the guys in Red Hand Gang was James Bond III, who was the lead in Death by Temptation.
Death by Temptation?
Yes.
Okay. I love that movie.
I don't remember it.
It's the guy from Different World or whatever, right? Isn't it? No, it's Dwayne Wayne from freaking
Kadeem Hardison.
That's not Different World.
That was a Different World.
Okay,
yes.
okay. I thought that didn't sound right.
Damn, you pulled that out.
Yeah, it also has Samuel L. Jackson in it.
James Bond III wrote, directed, and starred in it, by the way.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Red Hand Gang just sounded really weird, but it's like a kid's thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like Little Rascals.
I see. Okay.
So sorry I led you down there.
No, it's fine.
For different reasons. But anyway, Boomer, the dog who was in the Red Hand Gang, went on to have his own TV show.
Wow.
Here's Boomer in the 1980s. He was in like 20 episodes.
When the dog is making more money than you, it's like, what am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put some rat poison in its kibble or something. Put some rat poison in my kibble.
So why did I go down that? I don't know.
James Bond III was also in 10 Speed and Brown Shoe, BJ and the Bear, lots of other and the titles. Good one.
Anyway, The Initiation, check it out. Or not.
Yeah, we're not forcing you to do anything.
So, but the last film that I watched this week for this Mega Monster Mania was a movie that somebody posted this and I had never seen it and I just felt compelled to find it. It is not available to see anywhere. The Initiation, it's on YouTube.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
Most of the movies I talk about on YouTube.
Yes.
This one I had to actively seek out to find it.
You had like your Indiana Jones hat on and...
Yeah, I had a hard time finding it. I won't tell you how I found it. It's called A Lizard in a Woman's Skin.
Oh, I've seen that movie. That's an Italian
movie. It's a Lucio Fulci movie.
Yes.
And when I saw this, I'm like, all right, I am intrigued because there's no way that we would find our way to this movie.
No.
Because I don't think it really has...
They're all Italian actors.
Yeah. It doesn't really have a lot of American actors that we can get in and out of. Right.
But you're like, I'm definitely going to see a woman turn into a lizard.
Right. Which does
not happen. Let's just go ahead and state that right now.
And this is 1971.
Oh, man. Yep.
And it reads, the potentially unhinged daughter of a British politician is accused of killing her hedonistic neighbor after she witnesses the murder in a dream. Again, dream sequences.
Wow.
Right? Lucio Fulci is credited as the story writer, but there are 5 writers on this film.
I don't know if that ever works out well.
Exactly. And this movie was...
confusing?
Confused.
Yeah, for sure.
1971, this was art.
Oh, yeah. It's very psychedelic.
And there are some long scenes, very psychedelic. Yeah. There are a lot of boobs in this film.
Yes. I mean, I would feel profoundly ripped off if there were not.
It opens with her in this dream sequence on a train, in which she's wearing this big fur coat, and this main chick, her name is Florinda Balkan.
I know a lot of those Italian actresses. I did not recognize her name right off the bat.
She's interesting looking, but she walks out of this train, down the hallway of this train, which is normally just crowded. It is completely crowded with nude people.
Bunch of nudies.
Just dancing, making out, talking. She's pushing her way through this crowd of nudes. Mm-hmm. So many boobs. And they do this scene 3 or 4 times in the movie, it seems, of her having this reoccurring dream. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of sex in it. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of boobs. Mm-hmm. Maybe not a whole lot of story.
That's how I like them.
Because her neighbor ends up dead, but she recalls having a dream about the death. But there's a guy, the actor's name is Stanley Baker.
Yeah, I recognize him from a few movies.
He plays the inspector. Granted, most of the voices are dubbed in this film.
Yes, if not all.
And I wonder if this was put in because when he has his resting bitch face,
yeah,
it looks like he's whistling. So somebody added in whistling.
What?
So ADR whistling while he's going through like murder scenes. He's going through the scene trying to find clues and such. Right. There's just whistling. Somebody's explaining something to him and there's whistling.
Yeah.
Like he's just whistling the entire time.
That's really annoying.
Very annoying. And it goes on for a long time.
Yeah, that's a strange choice to make. It would be funny if he was like whistling in Italian and they're like, no, we have to dub this into English whistling. I don't even know what that would be.
I'm not sure what Italian whistling sounds like.
It's just like regular whistling, but more Italian.
It was an interesting movie. It kept you going.
Not a lot of plot.
Yeah, not a whole lot of plot. Not a lot of bugs. But the quality seemed like top notch for Lucio Fulci.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the way it was shot.
Yeah, the way it was shot, maybe the transfer to the copy I was watching, it looked clean. Mm-hmm. Very nice. But there are certain scenes that they were trying to do like a point of view or there's one scene in particular, they're at a dinner table and everybody's looking at each other for answers or what, but the camera is quickly panned back and forth.
Yeah.
And is obviously handheld.
Right.
And real shaky because the cameras back then probably weighed 90 pounds, right?
Oh, for sure.
So doing these type of shots made it very difficult for the camera operator.
Yep, I could see that.
But it was good. It was interesting. There were scenes that went on forever and ever. Now, there's a big exposition at the end where the detective basically unravels the whole story and tells you exactly what happened because
they felt like they needed to put that in so that everybody was on the same page.
So basically, spoiler alert, that she was the killer.
Okay.
And she killed these people and she continued to kill these people because of different witnesses.
Right.
Because I guess after she seductively killed the one woman who was in the flat next door. Mm-hmm. I mean, I said seductively, I mean, the boobs.
Yeah, boobs.
Big boobie. Mm-hmm. And maybe some fake boobs when she starts stabbing into the chest of this woman. Right. But boobs.
Yeah, still.
Did I mention there were boobs? In the loft, above this big, huge bed where she killed this girl, there's a whole scene here on 85. Picture 85 of 103. It's just a bunch of people having sex.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But there's a big bed that she ends up killing this girl on. And above it is this little loft. There are 2 people that I guess the detective made aware that they were so high on drugs they didn't know what was going on. but she had to go after and kill them. Okay. There's some nightmarish scenes. If you look at picture 43, this scene went on for quite a while. Yeah. I don't really understand why there were mutilated dogs.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
That had their organs exposed with tubes of blood running to them. They were whimpering, and they did close-ups of the organs kind of moving and blood just dripping out of them.
No way.
It was kind of disturbing.
I do not want to see that at all.
I don't understand what part of this had to do with the film. If somebody has any answers, give them to me.
Maybe they were making a coat for her or something.
Disturbing.
It is disturbing.
There is a scene where she is in, it's like an abandoned warehouse of some sort, where she's being chased by actually one of the guys that was on drugs that she thinks is trying to kill her. Mm-hmm. And they're like in a catacomb of some sort, and there are bats going after. And this is bats reminiscent to that of other Fulci movies that we have seen and talked about.
Real faking.
On this pod. Real fake bats.
Yeah, like the fakest bats that you've ever seen.
And the ones that are flying around look real, but the ones that are stuck in her hair are obviously they're just same rubber
they're
bats.
Just the rubber ones that you can get from like Dollar General or something.
Yes.
They spent too much money on drugs for all of the actors in the movie. They didn't have a bat budget.
There had to be a lot of drugs in this film, because some of the sequences, they're well shot, but they're just fucked up.
Yes. Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, half of the movies that we love, I think cocaine is like mostly responsible for all of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Look at picture 62 of 103 and keep clicking to 64.
Jesus. Yeah, they're just two girls making out in front of a giant like shop fan.
Yes. That scene goes on forever. They're making out and their hair is just being whipped around their faces.
I'm intrigued, but also bored, I think, at the same time.
And I had a hard time making it through this movie, too, because it was late and I was tired, but at the same sense, there were boobs. So it was, as long as they keep showing me boobs, I'm going to stay awake for a minute.
I think they knew that.
So I do want to go back. I think in this Lizard in a Woman's Skin, I think this also the writer, which is Roberto Gianviti. I'm probably getting that totally fucked up too. He's had a lot of writing credits. 131 writing credits.
Wow.
So this guy has done a ton of shit.
Yeah, looks like a bunch of kind of sword and sandal movies.
And most of it is Italian, but he wrote the story and the screenplay for The Psychic, which is another Fulci movie that I can't wait to watch.
I want to say that it's been released, in the last couple of years. But yeah, he wrote Don't Torture a Duckling, 7 Bloodstained Orchids, which are, kind of like in everybody's Gio list.
Mm-hmm. He also wrote Don't Touch the Children.
Yeah,
I should have brought that up.
I didn't click on that one. Yeah, I see Hercules.
There's Erotic Delights with George Eastman.
God, he has written, I'm just still scrolling on a bunch of stuff. Well, cool. And dip back into Italian movies every once in a while to see what those crazy folks are up to.
Like I said, I brought this one up basically because I knew we would never get into or out of this movie.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
So.
Yeah, we're using this in a good way where we can get to some of these. When we go back to the regular podcast, we'll have to find a way to loosen the restrictions a little bit so we can get some other...
We'll find a way around.
We'll find a way. Love will find a way.
So, a lizard in a woman's skin. Really, the title means nothing about the film.
No lizards, but a lot of women's skin in it.
Exactly.
Cool.
So, that rounds up my 4 films this week.
Man, you're really doing the Lord's work.
Oh.
I mean, I know you fall asleep continuously through them, but still.
And I'm exhausted.
They're just sweaty, chain smoking.
What hair I do have left on my head is all gray and stringy.
Mm-hmm. My part is on a different part now. Like
it's horizontal.
Mm-hmm. That's hard. That's where you're just like, maybe I should just shave it off. This is untenable. I was trying to think of the Ernest Borgnine Satan movie earlier. It's called The Devil's Reign.
Okay, so it wasn't Deadly Blessings like I wanted?
I mean, that's another one, but the one I was thinking about was Devil's Reign, 1975, starring William Shatner. So...
Interesting.
Oh, if you look at some of the stills from it, it's insane. There should be a shot of Ernest Borgnine kind of throwing up the devil horns.
Oh yeah, so we have talked about this. I think Ernest Borgnine, Eddie Albert, William Shatner, Keenan Wynn, Tom Skerritt,
John Travolta,
Woody Shambliss, who played Uncle Willie in Gargoyles.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Anton LaVey.
Perfect. Let's get it done, people.
As High Priest.
And he brought snacks to the set.
What's with pick 6? That is Ernest Borgnine as a goat?
Like your basic demon goat. Yep. Ernest Borgnine makes a good disciple of Satan. He looks good in that robe.
Yeah, this looks like there are plenty of people being eaten away by acid rain.
Yep. Tom Skerritt's in it with his mustache.
Wow.
Eddie Albert's in it, for God's sakes. Ida Lupino. Yeah. So, that's a good one.
Ida Lupino with some really, really bad fake black contacts.
Yeah. I don't think they're just prosthetic.
No, that's like cardboard painted black they shoved in her eyelids.
Exactly. Might have to revisit this one later on. It looks good. I think I've seen it before, but I don't remember it.
I don't know this one.
I just know it was my profile picture of Ernest Borgnine for a long time. I feel like I should watch it now.
All right.
That was definitely a eclectic blend of stuff. Got bugs, got boobies, got Ernest Borgnine,
I think we did good work here because we could have gone down the same movies that everybody watches.
Yeah. But everybody knows those already.
Yeah.
You don't need us to tell you to watch The Omen before Halloween, you know?
Right. But nobody's watching The Devil's Reign.
They should be watching The Slugger's Wife. That was a good one. He plays professional baseball. Michael O'Keefe does. And he's just kind of middling, you know, not great at bat, not great at anything. But then he starts dating Rebecca De Mornay, and he promises her that he's going to hit 2 home runs. And he does in the next game. So now Rebecca De Mornay is like his good luck charm, and she breaks up with him. And so he's basically just a shambling mess of a man. He's so out of it that they try to dress up the girl from The Nest as Rebecca De Mornay.
Oh, wow.
To try to
Does that work?
No, it doesn't. Why was I talking about that? Oh.
Still waiting.
It's because of we need to watch the Whoopie Boys. That's the last thing I'm saying. Well, do you want to
want to wish everybody a happy Halloween?
Yes, happy Halloween.
Watch some scary movies. Watch some dumb slasher. Watch some bugs eating somebody's
arm.
Asshole. I don't know.
But I did like it when they smashed all those bugs. It's weird. They can't be killed by conventional means except for just smushing them with like a shoe. So it's real weird. Don't know where the line is.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up our Monster Movie Mania Toyotathon.
Wait till next year, till the next one.
Mm-hmm. But keep it real. Keep watching horror movies. Keep this dream alive that someday we'll get back to watching real new horror movies.
Yeah.
Hasn't anything scary come out in a while?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a few things on streaming now.
I haven't watched anything new.
The Lodge was pretty good.
Okay.
That's creepy.
All right. We'll check in with all of our social media bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook group.
Follow us.
Twitter. Instagram. YouTube. If you would rather watch a static screen of us talking to you, yeah. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah. Find us on MySpace. Is that still a thing?
Krista is still writing different reviews, her own takes. She has not been listening to our podcast before she writes her own reviews, unbiased review, her take on these movies.
That's good.
She's going through each one of them.
Good.
The last one was Dark Night of the Scarecrow, one of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun. Please watch that this Halloween. That's a good movie for Halloween.
Yeah, sure.
Next week, we've got another interview coming.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned, and we'll let you know who we are interviewing. And then, hopefully the second week of November, we'll get right back into our regular scheduled programming of the Moratorium.
Beautiful.
How about that? That was unscripted.
Wow, man, that sounded so natural.
All right, you got anything else to add?
Nope, we did it.
We done it. Lots of movies, and I'm tired now.
Yeah, tired and hungry. I feel like we've been doing this for hours.
We have.
Oh, God, that's why.
All right, then.
All right.
Until next week.
Bye, guys.
Hey, you know what? I don't think we ever introduced ourselves.
Wow, did we not? Oh, we didn't. Let's just continue doing that. Not introducing.
I'm not introducing?
Yes.
You want to just say it now? I'm your host, Tim Kornman, and with me as always is...
Jason Walker.
And we're out. You've been listening to a special edition of the Moratorium. We're sad to see that our marathon is over, but it's time to get back to our regular scheduled programming. We're working hard to bring you quote-unquote quality entertainment, so spread the love. Please like, share, and subscribe, then rinse and repeat. Also, check out our website at themoratorium.com. There you can find a link to our blogs, but also a link to our merch. There's a special edition Moratorium tee just for this movie marathon. Feel free to drop us a note at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Next week, we have a special guest for our second installment of the Moratorium interview series. Stay safe, happy Halloween, and thank you for listening. And, hey, long live VHS.
It's just like regular whistling, but more Italian.